Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a question that I think we've all had at some point. We're going to get super clear on the difference between a foodborne infection, a toxic infection, and an intoxication. Let's jump right in. So, have you ever really thought about this? Why is it that sometimes when you get sick from food, it hits you like a ton of bricks within just a few hours? But other times, it might take a whole day or even longer before you feel anything. Well, that time delay, that's actually the main clue to what's really going on inside your body. And we are going to solve that mystery today. All right, to crack this case, we've got to look at our three main suspects. First up is the one you've probably heard the most about, the classic infection. The easiest way to think about an infection is like this. You've eaten something with some germs on it, and now those germs are like unwanted guests who've shown up at your party. But they don't just hang out. They decide to move in, set up camp in your gut, and start multiplying. And that's really the textbook definition. You get sick because these microorganisms, we're talking bacteria, viruses, get inside you and start to grow. It's their growth, their increasing numbers, that starts to damage your cells and make you feel awful. And here's the key. That process takes time. They need a chance to multiply. That's why an infection can take a day or more to really show symptoms.
Okay, let's move on to our second suspect. This one is a bit of a step up in complexity. It's called the toxic infection.
So let's go back to our analogy. The unwanted guests are still there, and they're still multiplying. But with a toxic infection, they're also, well, they're terrible guests. They start making a huge mess, producing all these nasty toxins as they grow. So now you've got two problems on your hands: more and more guests, and the toxic garbage they're leaving behind. And that's basically what a toxic infection is. It's a real double whammy. You feel sick because of the bacteria that are actively growing inside you, and you feel sick from the poisons, the toxins that they're churning out while they grow. You're fighting a battle on two fronts. All right, time for our final suspect. And this is the speed demon of the group. It's called an intoxication, and it plays by a completely different set of rules. Let's use our house analogy one last time. For this one, imagine you get home, but the bad guests have already come and gone. They aren't there anymore. But they left behind a nasty surprise, a toxic mess just sitting there waiting for you. The problem isn't the germs themselves anymore. It's the poison they created and left behind in your food. With an intoxication, the illness is caused only by the toxins that were already present in the food before you even took a bite. The bacteria that made the poison, they could be long dead. It doesn't matter. Because your body is reacting to a pre-made chemical poison, there's no waiting around for germs to grow. And that is why an intoxication can make you sick so fast, sometimes in just a matter of hours, or even less. Okay, investigation's over. It's time to bring all three of our suspects into the lineup and put them side by side. This is where it's all going to click into place. So let's just look at this. It really breaks it down perfectly. For an infection, the cause is the germs growing in your body. That's what makes you sick. For an intoxication, it's the total opposite. It has nothing to do with growth in your body. It's only about the preformed toxin in the food. And right there in the middle, you've got the toxic infection, which is the worst of both worlds. You're fighting the bacteria and their toxins. So, really, it all boils down to this one question. What is your body actually fighting? Is it fighting the living germs themselves? Is it fighting a chemical poison that was already there? Or is it fighting both at the same time? The answer to that question explains everything, especially the timing. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to mull over. Now that you know that sometimes the danger in food isn't even a living thing, but a chemical residue it left behind, does that change how you think about food safety? Something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.